What's the coolest thing you own that ISNT expensive? A poem book that I got recently. It's called Años Maduros, and it was part of a competition for poets that never got the chance. My dad passed from cancer when I was 6 and he died before knowing if he won. He did, and his poem was dedicated to me. When my great-grandfather died about 30 years ago, the only thing he willed to anyone in particular was his watch, which he gave to me, his oldest great-grandchild. It's not a fancy watch, just a working man's bull of a wind-up, but it was gifted to him by his, notoriously stingy, father-in-law in the early 70s. It still keeps perfect time. I work at NASA and managed to get it flown on a space shuttle mission. TLDR. A 50-year-old watch given to my great-grandfather by my great-great-grandfather. The watch has been to space. A fired clay sculpture of a warty toad. It's worthless, $20 at any pottery store, and that's being generous. But for me it is something of a talisman as it's one of the last physical mementos I have of my beloved grandmother who died several years ago. It was sent to her by her sister, who was in every way the stereotypical crazy great-aunt, and she didn't care for it. But I was rather amused by it and she said I could have it. It sat on my nightstand for a decade and whenever I see it I think of her. Beer bottle opener ring. It's like $4 on Amazon. I've had it for over 10 years. Looks nice, works great. I turn it around on my finger to use it, and if people aren't paying attention, it just looks like I ripped the bottle cap off with my bare hands. I bought a bucket hat for $10 last spring. On the inside of the hat there's a small Velcro pocket. It's big enough to put like cash and your ID and a credit card in. It keeps the sun out of my eyes and off my neck, ears. I look sexy AF in it, and I have a secret pocket. What more could you want for $10? A Nintendo Game Boy with working headphone jack. An old pirate cap gun. My most prized possession. Given to me when I was 11 by an older sibling after she visited Disney World via Make-A-Wish. The following year she passed away. 1. Autographed photo of Kurt Cobain. Bought the photo randomly super cheap. Was lucky to get an actual autograph from Kurt. 2. A WW2 gas mask that I got autographed by every member of Slipknot back in the late 90s. I picked up the gas mask at a garage sale for $20. So I had heard of Slipknot only because a friend of mine worked in a music store. He recommended them, knew I'd like them. So he gave me a CD to check out before official release. About a week later I went to see them live, wore my gas mask to the show. Staff wouldn't let me bring it in. But I had rode the bus and the train to get to the venue so I had no place to stash it. So I started asking people in line if they had a place. No dice. Nobody wanted to lose their place in line as it wrapped around the block. Then out of nowhere this dude comes up to me. Long red and black hair. Hey man, I got a place you can stash your gas mask. Sweet. So I followed him. Around to the back and up to the tour bus. It was Joey fucking Jordison. I got to hang out with the band on the tour bus, play Super Nintendo and get high before they all autographed the canister of the gas mask. Crazy thing is, nobody knew who they were at the time. I mean seriously, the headliner was Machine Head. Anyway, great show. 3. Demo cassette tape of Khan's first album. Was given to me back in the 90s before their album release. I listened to it, liked it, then started playing it for friends. When we showed up to see them live we were the only people in the crowd who knew who they were. They were opening for Filter and the headliner of the show was White Zombie. A needle nose pliers. Those damn things are surprisingly handy. A prism. Prisms are great. They're satisfyingly weight glass pyramids that make rainbows when you put them up into the light and you can buy them at any museum gift shop. What's not to love about them? I even got a trichoric prism which instead of splitting light into a rainbow splits it into 3 different colors. Usually RGB but shining the light at different angles gets you different colors because of how light is additive, because it's a beam splitter. Honestly optics in general are great, but prisms have the best bang for your buck and are the easiest to get a hold of. A bullet from World War I still intact. I have a family-owned machete. I don't know much about it. I asked my father where did it come from and all he remembers was getting it from his dad. He tried getting it back, but I told him I use it to cut coconuts open. Haha update. http://imager.com/a/vdjailer. Here's the machete just in case y'all were curious. When I visited the Dead Sea, I found a string that had been tied into a loop that had a lot of salt stuck to it, so it looks like a necklace made of salt. It might not sound like much, but I thought it was a pretty unique souvenir. I have woman jeans with huge pockets. They're the greatest thing ever. A cheap patio chair we bought like 10 years ago. I sit on it almost every day while the doggos play in the backyard. Sometimes I think about buying a nice, new, plush one. But I like this one just fine. A pair of cufflinks my future father-in-law made for all the men in the family. The wood he made it from is over 2,000 years old, with the carbon dating papers to prove it. Edit. Here they are, https://imager.com/ubigza closing parenthesis. A Robin Williams signed poster of the movie Hook. He sent it for free. My girlfriend sent a letter to every person with his name in the US with a letter about my struggles with anxiety and filmmaking and how much the movie has helped me through the years. She surprised me with his response on my birthday. The world sadly lost him not long after that. It is my most prized possession. My mom's original art, all framed in cheap frames I got a while back. She's not an artist professionally, but she damn well could be. I have 6 of her pieces in my little apartment, and they are so beautiful. Edit. You guys are very sweet. She used to post a lot of it to Insta under Tamar_s_catch. But here are 2 of my favorites. She's an architect, and I think you can tell. She usually doodles these while talking on the phone. https://imager.com/a/coas7wc closing square bracket opening parenthesis https://imager.com/a/coas7wc closing parenthesis. Chopsticks. I can eat chips, crisps and other snacks like that without having to wash my hands afterwards. A piece of the Berlin Wall. It was a gift from a friend who was a reporter at the scene. It's just a hunk of concrete really, but it's a piece of history on my bookshelf. About 10 years ago I bought a piece of canvas and oil artwork from a street artist in Monrovia, Liberia, Africa. I bought it for like $10 USD. It's on a rough-cut piece of canvas, with asymmetric edges, but it's painted in deep, bold beautiful colors, which just pulls in the observer. The theme is a group of people all dancing close together, with arms raised and legs and arms entwined in dance, and all of the people are half black, half white, literally half of face black, other half of same face white, and all are wearing bright, beautifully colored, beautifully patterned clothing. This painting just exudes joy and harmony of people. I had it framed in a natural wood frame that augments and complements the earth tones of the painting. The frame cost me many times more than what I paid for the artwork itself. It's the centerpiece of art in the living room of our home. A Kalimba thumb piano. It was only $10 and plays beautifully. This little door jamb lock thingy. https://imager.com/a/dexto closing parenthesis I used when I went to hostels. It's like a portable deadbolt, probably $8 to $10 when I got it. A kepi blank. The classic white hat of the French Foreign Legion, given to me by a person in the process of deserting. I was on a train when this giant guy tells me that he just deserted from the Legion. He said, "Don't believe me? Here's my uniform," and opened up his duffel bag. I said, "Cool, how much for the hat?" To which he replied, "I don't need it anymore. Here," and handed it over. It's my favorite hat from my collection. I have a small watercolor painting that my great-uncle painted of my grandfather putting up hay on his farm in the late 1950s. My great-uncle was color-blind and most of his paintings were landscapes in muted tones that closely reflected how his eyes saw the world, earth tones and grays. The painting of my grandfather is an exception. The colors are warm and vibrant, happy. My desk and armoire, bookcase. My dad and I built a matching desk and armoire for my in high school, and recently my parents retrofitted the armoire with shelves for my scores and record player. I've taken the desk with me everywhere I've lived and it feels great to have the matching set again. Reminds me a lot of my dad and how much fun we had designing and building them. Smiley face. Update. I was asked for pictures. I uploaded them to a Google Drive link. Here. https://drive.google.com/drive/folders/1shve3gsw3 zuchgcdgarp-nw4c34qbq USB equals sharing closing parenthesis if you're interested. My avocado plants. Every time I eat an avocado I grow the pits into a little tree. Makes me so happy. Letter from Stan Lee at the bullpen. Great artwork, kid. But call us again when you've finished school. A vanilla bean candle. It has the bestest smell ever and it reminds me of my best friend who loves it exactly the same. An ice skate signed by Tanya Harding. Bidet. Cost $30 and cleans my ass with a switch. It's awesome. When my dad was younger they were tearing down a Catholic church in Chicago. He talked someone into giving him one of the stained glass windows. He encased it in a wood frame and backlit it. It's freaking huge, pretty at night, and brings back fond memories of him. A library card. I love going to the library and borrowing as many books, movies, etc. as I want for free. Tough to choose. I work at a dump so I have a lot of cool garbage. Probably the 110-year-old working fountain pen. Found it at a junk shop for $5 all clogged up. I restore pens as a hobby, and I was able to fix everything except the nib, which was broken. A few years later I happened to find a box of nibs in the trash, and they fit. Now I take notes with a pen older than my grandma. A guy made my name out of a wire coat hanger. Was just waiting in line at the store one day and he said he did it as a hobby, pulled out a coat hanger and twisted it until it spelled my name in cursive. It's part of my key ring now. It's got more sentimental value than anything, but I still have one of my grandfather's pocket knives that I saw him once use to restart a tractor in the coolest fashion possible. He didn't do anything other than jam the knife into the engine and it started. I think I was 9 or 10 when he did it. Not sure what he did and my dad doesn't remember the story lol. We were out cutting firewood with my dad and uncle on my grandparents' 500-acre farm and it was starting to snow heavy. The tractor had died and we were a long ways from home. He doesn't get that restarted we have to walk back in a snowstorm. It was a cool memory. I have a Bob Ross Chia Pet on my kitchen windowsill and I'm really proud of that thing. A cheap plastic pour-over coffee dripper. You get literally no added benefit from the expensive ones, except aesthetics. You could theoretically make do with a fucking sawn-off bottle top. Amazing coffee. No need for fancy brewers or anything like that. A good coffee grinder, however, is a good investment. I'm very fond of my domovoi. This sort of Slavic house guardian. He's a little hand-carved soapstone domovoi. Got the original chunk of stone and the appropriate tools in a little kit for like $30. He's a little naked old man with an enormous beard to keep him modest. Though since I'm apparently a giant 8-year-old I couldn't resist the urge to carve him a little old man butt. Prehistoric amber with little dino insects inside them just like Jurassic Park. A packet of sunflower seeds. Going on its 3rd year. Amazing how a little packet of sunflower seeds, when planted judiciously, cheers up the entire block. Electric milk frother to stir my coffee. It's not inherently cool but I use it multiple times a day and every time I use it I think, fuck I love this thing. My sobriety. I have a Monstera Deliciosa that was once small enough to fit in a fairly small, long box for shipping. With the right care and increasing sizes of plant pots, it has grown into this massive beauty that sits near my bed. I've had it for about 4 years now and I love it. It's about 120 centimeters tall now. There are so many, but I'll choose the first I glanced at. My anniversary edition of H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds with illustrations by Edward Gorey. My middle school had that edition in its library, and it fascinated me. The library card was full of my name on one side and down the other. I didn't know it was a famous artist, just that it was deeply evocative. So when I found out that it was a celebrated edition and being re-released, I had to get it. My early 2000s Toyota Corolla. It's definitely seen better days but it has this, never die, attitude that I love. When I bought it, I paid $14,000. It's probably worth a couple $100s now. It has 250k plus miles on it and it still keeps going. Never had to replace anything, except tires. The paint is chipped, there's a bunch of dings and dents and rust spots. The air conditioning doesn't work and the CD player is busted. But it starts every time with zero lag, it never complains, and has been my trusty steed. Sure, I've had other cars since then that are still around. But my Corolla, though it might not be cool to some, it's definitely a trusty bucket of rust and bolts that is way beyond cool to me. Probably either. My collection of small dragon statues, between 1 pound -2 and 30 pounds -40 each depending mostly on size. I have a small shelf of them. A bulb of a rare variety of daffodil. Flower record. A daffodil variety named after me. My granddad breeds them. OFC. The coolest things I own are my self-built ~1,000 pounds PC and my Switch, but those are the expensive ones. Cheeky smiley face. I have a bandsaw that I paid $20 for, perfectly working condition now. The guy told me it was eating blades, and wanted to get rid of it. Turns out he had installed the blades behind the bearings, not between them. Here is how they are supposed to be installed. https://cdn11.bigcommerce.com/s-9fauth34wk/738/757/b2145534.jpg?mark C=2?mark M bypass=on he had them behind the bearings. A very early edition of Fahrenheit 451. The edges look burned. Bought it at a library book sale for $1. A friend gave me a tree made of bronze wires, about 4 inches high. It's detailed and beautiful. IDK how to post the photo though. I asked somebody on Reddit to make little stuffed animals of characters I love from a game. They included a really awesome random drawing from the series as well. I love that little doodle to death. I mean, the intended product was amazing too, but that little drawing has been laminated and taped to my computer case. If you ever want awesome work done, at a fair price from a friendly person, look up Runyagelin, just awesome stuff. Thanks for watching. See you later.